this will probably end up being a series of videos. This is an iMac, or not iMac, it's a Power Mac G4. That's my iMac. But I'm gonna make a Hackintosh. And I was just gonna put it in that case right there. But I read online that these cases can be easily modified, the G3s and the G4s, because they've got a standard ATX power supply. So you can easily take that power supply out and modify the case. You can cut out this out here. This is plastic right here, but the plastic come out, and then there's just a metal, piece with holes, and then cut this out to fit a standard back plate. Let's see if I've got one laying around here. No, I don't have one handy, but I thought I had one laying around here. Anyway, nothing special about the case. I was going to buy a new case, but I'm kind of doing this Hackintosh on a budget, and I was just going to use an old one that I had. It's a pretty cool case. It unfolds. This power supply. DVD drive. It's got a zip drive, which I will. I don't need a floppy or a zip, so I'll probably just leave the zip drive in there just to plug up the hole. And then I'll swap the DVD drive out for a SATA DVD burner. And then there's a spot for the hard drive. Put a SATA hard drive there. Probably have to get a right angle SATA cable, and then a right angle power for it. But it should be fairly easy to get this thing to mount. It looks like most of the holes, like this one, there's one right here, line up with what a normal ATX motherboard would be. Now the ATX motherboard is going to be shorter, probably to about right here, and so I'll end up having to make some mounts right there. But I think what I can do is take something like one of these and drill a hole in the case. Mount one of these. This looks like about the right height. So drill it through it, screw it in, and probably epoxy it, because this is plastic. But we could epoxy this into the plastic, and that would hold just fine, because we'd have a good solid mounting point in those two spots. And we could find another spot where we could get a metal connector. Maybe something like this one. And we'll just cut this out with the Dremel tool to make room for the back plate. It's got a nice fan cooling out the side, and it should make a pretty good case. It's going to be kind of tight with the processor fan and heatsink being right here, which will be where it is on the other motherboard. So I was gonna put a full height heat sink on this thing because I'm not crazy about the little short one that the Core 2 processors come with. I got my processor, so I'll show you the heat sink. So these things come with a very short heat sink, and I was going to swap it out. Let's see, I'm going to swap it out for this one, which I had. I don't know if I can get a, probably can't get a view of both of them, but there, you can see the difference in them. But with this thing being so tight in there, I may have to use the short one, because it looks like the highest point that I've got, as high as I can go, is up to here. So the heat sink can't be any taller than this, and ideally you'd want a little room for it to, you know, you don't want it right up against it, because this will go to right here. So that's how high the power supply is. So to here. And so if we take a look at this heat sink, this one would sit about like that, maybe a little bit shorter. It'd probably go down a little bit more. It would be very, very close. So I'll probably end up using a short one. I'm not going to overclock this thing or anything, so it should be fine. But I'll make a video when I start modifying this case